Coming up live on LiveWire, we've got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about sip and snack at the Mac. You don't know what that is, but you're going to learn because you're going to stay there and watch LiveWire. And then we're going to talk to some folks from California Stage Theater Company, where they are developing some new and interesting musical things. So stay tuned for LiveWire right after this. Okay. Throughout California, you can see historical buildings, and you wonder what's in there. What's in the Leonis Adobe as I drive by down 80 towards Los Angeles? What's that like, and what's it all about? Well, each one of those has this, either if it's part of the state, it's a state historical monument, then they usually have an interpreter there. But there are others that are city-oriented, and what we have is a number of those throughout Northern California, where early settlers of California, except for the first settlers of California, built homes. And we have here in the studio Mr. Sean Farmer, who works with the Galt Historical Society.
How you doing?
Well, fine. You were walking down the street one day. You went, I think I'll support a historical monument.
Well, the Galt Historical Society has been going for many generations, or many decades, should I say, but I just started getting involved in recent years.
What drew you there?
Well, my family's 4 generations from Galt, so I've lived there my whole life, and I'm interested in history myself, so I just naturally wanted to be involved.
Cool. So it's a famous ranch.
Yeah, so the McFarland Ranch, the Sip and Snack at the Mac,
Yeah.
Mac is short for McFarland, was a ranch built by John McFarland, who was one of the founders of Galt. He pretty much put Galt on the map, brought the railroad there, and founded the city. It was a huge ranch. He was quite the socialite. He had a huge landowner, and it was built in 1876, and it actually stayed in his family for about 5 generations until 1993. When it was, then it was turned over to the Historical Society to restore it and maintain it as a historical location.
Have. And so people can go to it, and what's coming up there is an event that people can go and see, and they can go in the building and walk around. And you said earlier when we talked that it's filled with some of the same furniture and things that were in there.
Yeah, it's restored. We rent it out for venues, and the proceeds of all the venues, like weddings and things that we have at the ranch, all go to maintain the building and the house, paint it and just maintain the ranch. The particular venue, the Sip and Snack, coming up, all the proceeds from that will also go to maintaining the ranch. They will have tours available. They don't open the house very often, but they will have docents there to take people on tours through the house. Most of the house is furnished almost entirely with original furniture and artifacts that belong to John McFarland and his family.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a time capsule.
Amazing. And what else happens at the ranch?
So the Sip and Snack event primarily is a wine, beer, and food festival that brings wineries and breweries and food vendors from all around, not just from Galt, but from surrounding areas. And we set up out in the orchard. There's an orchard that kind of surrounds the ranch. It's a beautiful, beautiful orchard. And it's an evening event from 6 o'clock to 10 p.m. They have live music. We have a dance floor. So for the price of admission, people come in and they're able to...
dance floor?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, we have live music. So in the evening, when it cools off, and you have beautiful sunsets out there, and you can dance, and enjoy the music, enjoy some wine, enjoy some food, and it's a great venue. It's the 8th year they've done it.
Great, and it's a fundraiser to maintain all of that, which is, of course, it's all wooden historical
Absolutely.
buildings and all of that. Cool. But there are other events, that kids come out to and during the year.
Yeah, there's a host of events that we do out there. Not only can be rented to the public for venues such as weddings and other events like that, but they do luncheons out there. They have we actually bring school kids out on field trips and do like a living history type thing where they teach them things. And there's various outbuildings and barns on the property, and they do we're going to be doing hay rides at the Sip and Snack. And we actually have a great event coming up. It's the Galt Balloon Festival, which is a hot air balloon festival. It's going to be held at the McFarland Ranch. It's going to be phenomenal. That's coming up in the second weekend of August. And that should be a great event. We're expecting 5,000 to 10,000 people there for that.
Wow. I actually have never heard of this McFarland Living History Ranch, and I like the idea of, the community taking it on and being part of it and
Absolutely.
putting living history events together. Even as simple as a hayride. I remember my first hayride. I thought it was terrific.
Yeah, it's important to have a younger generation of people, bring them back and teach them not only the history of their community that they live in, but also to teach them the way things were, with all the technology and everything that our kids are surrounded with nowadays, to teach them this is how things were done in those days. And I think a lot of children become very interested in that, to see, it's like, wow, that was how they did things, and it's neat to try to pass that on.
Yeah.
Because at some point, a lot of that is lost. As we grow in generations, a lot of that information is just lost.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it is. People wonder, why did you had to crank the phone to answer it, and what did it do? You talk to the operator, you didn't talk to nobody, you couldn't call you directly.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, there's a historic crank phone in the house, and I joked one day with one of the docents saying, back then you would crank the phone and then you would say to the operator, connect me with so-and-so. And it's like technology has come full circle, because now with our smartphones, we press a button and we say, Siri, connect me with so-and-so. So it's like the whole thing all over again. It's kind of funny.
Well, I think it's kind of fun working for history projects, and to bring them to understand, that civilization actually grew in steps in various parts of the world, and including Northern California, and how it took care. We actually have some slides you brought.
Yes.
Cool. Can we have a look at those? And you'll be the narrator, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. Let's see slides of the McFarland Ranch.
Okay, so here is one of the vendors. That's actually my daughter. We have a booth out there, and we're serving some of our stuff. So this will be an example of vendors coming out with food, and serving samples of food and drink and things that the vendors bring out. This was just a photograph I took of a wine glass. The event was.
Are there wineries near there that?
Oh, there's lots of wineries in Lodi. Lodi is one of the biggest wine areas in California. Again, you can see here another setup of various booths. All the vendors that participate are given a spot with a tent and a table and a sign and access to power and all that. So that's all provided by them. There you can see more of the easy ups in the ranch.
It's huge.
Yeah, the house is in the background. It's set up amongst the orchard, which is to the south of the house. Here's the front yard of the house. This is basically where a lot of people will have like weddings and things that they host at the house. We keep the front of the house and the yard pretty much as pristine as possible for events. This is a gazebo out in the back that actually usually houses a band. A lot of bands will set up in that and play for some of the venues that are there. This is the back porch of the house. It's a huge porch. This is probably where John McFarland and his family sat in the day and enjoyed those beautiful sunsets looking off. This faces to the west.
How sweet.
And this is to the north of the house. This is just a fountain with some benches, and this is a good area where some people that rent the venue for weddings and things will take some photographs and things like that. It's a seating area. Again, another picture of the front yard of the house with the oak trees and the various trees in the yard.
Wow. Well,
frontal shot of the house.
People could really have a nice event there. That looks a lovely old house.
Yeah, it's a beautiful house. It's a beautiful house.
And you can see that porch. It's a huge porch. That is like probably what you're doing. That was like television for them. Let's go out and watch the sunset.
Yeah, exactly.
So, thanks. So we have to do this. This is like an infomercial, okay?
Okay.
And so the event is coming when? The Sip and Snack at the Mac?
Is July 28th.
Yep.
It's Saturday evening. It's from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. If you would like more, it's actually catered over 21 because of the beer and alcohol. If you would like more information, you can go to galthistory.org, or you can call 209-747-3861. And tickets are available at Barsetti's Vineyards Wine Tasting Room on 4th Street in Old Town.
Barsetti, yeah.
And so, or like I said, look at the galthistory.org for more information. You can PayPal tickets on there, and it's a great event, so come out and check it out.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Sean Farmer. Thank you so much
Thank you,
for
sir.
coming.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we'll see you out in Galt.
All right, thank you.
Okay. We got to take a short pause for the cause, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. But there are some important messages, and we'll be back with LiveWire and California Stage Theater Company recent events.
Hey, going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you! Come look at Mr. Feather. Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember? Bark, bark, bark. We're just playing. We're just playing on trying to get you out of here.
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
I tell people I have 3 kids, one of them's adopted, I just don't know which one.
I can't imagine having to be in a birth mother's position to make that choice.
You know, I was kind of just asking her, you know, what is your motivation? Why are you doing this? And she looked at me and she said, because you can give my son a life that I could not.
We always tell her thank you. He is such a blessing to us.
Every day is just a ray of sunshine from him. So we're Chanda and Brian, and we chose adoption.
Okay, we're back with LiveWire, and with me in the studio is Christine Williams. She is an entertainer, she's an actress and a director, and she has putting together a creative piece with someone at California Stage who is going to visit us too. But first of all, I think she's going to give us a little taste of the song that she's going to sing, aren't you?
I am.
Okay. This is called Am I Blue?
Am I blue? Am I blue? Ain't these tears in these eyes telling you? Am I blue? You'd be too if your plan with your man just fell through. Was a time I was his only one, but now I'm the sad and lonely one. Oh, was I gay till today? Now he's gone and we're through. Am I blue?
Wonderful, thank you. Why don't you come over and sit down? You know, it's interesting, I kind of all of a sudden saw a spotlight come down on you and the smoke from the cigarettes and cigars was down here, about here, you know.
It'll be exactly like that.
Sure, I'm sure of it. So
Exactly.
this is a new piece that you put together, stringing these torch songs. It's called Torch Songs. Torched Songs That Ruined Our Lives.
Yes.
Right, Megan?
Torched songs that ruined our lives. Exactly.
Why did they ruin our lives? I like it.
Well, that you come to the show and you find out how they ruin your life.
Okay.
Exactly.
So when is the show and where is it?
It's at Cal Stage, and it will be Friday, Saturday at 8 o'clock, and Sunday at 6 o'clock
Okay.
this weekend.
Sunday at 6 o'clock at California Stage. Oh, there it is on the screen. Woohoo! And you get more information by going to calstage.org. That's good. That's good. 1725 25th Street, 25NR in Midtown Sacramento. So this is a new piece that you're putting together. It's a kind of, this is a first testing in the water, right?
Exactly.
Right, this
yeah.
is our workshop production of this piece, where it's basically storytelling with songs. So it's all these songs, some of them I've done before, and a lot of them are new to me, but all of them are, I have this relationship with the songs, and sometimes that's a complicated relationship. So I'm exploring what that means, what that's about.
That's good. It's
through,
because you're
through
talking
songs.
about how you interpret the songs in terms of the story, or is it like a life story?
Yes, there's personal life story in it.
Whoa.
That my
Okay.
hope is that it relates to
Well, the song,
everyone.
that song there is a kind of, she's telling the story, and we're through, you know.
Right,
Well, and
right.
it's also interesting how you think about interpretation, but when you're interpreting something, it's also affecting you and exploring the relationship between the two
Right.
of those.
Wow, and you are playing the role of the director in this, so you have been directing.
Playing the role.
Yes, this is Megan Cooper.
Everything's a
who
role.
we've go way back.
Yes.
And Megan is directing the project.
Way back to when you were younger women.
So much younger when
So much
we
younger.
went to college.
Oh, I
Went
see.
to college, yes. We actually officially met sitting next to each other when Spalding Gray came to speak, and they were doing a Q&A, and nobody went except the two of us, and we realized we were
Right.
going to be lifelong
Gotta be fun.
friends.
Absolutely, I would see so too. Wow. So the idea of helping create a piece like this must be really an interesting experience.
It is. It is. It's fun because I am also an actor and singer. We went through the same program, in fact, in school, and
Just not at the same time.
not at the same time. Yeah, but I'm helping tell a story that she's telling, but at the same time confronting all of the ways that it affects me too, and seeing the differences about how people approach things and how people are affected by things, and getting to experience it both as an audience member and having experienced it as a performer. And you know, society changes too, and how they view singers and how they view women, and it's a real complicated process.
Hopefully for the better.
Well, hopefully.
Well, you know,
But
I grew
it's
up in the late
We're trying to
50s.
move the conversation forward.
and
Okay,
what
okay,
is
that's
better?
No, the conversation, the larger, like,
The
social
larger
conversations we're
conversation.
having.
I
Yeah.
get that. Whoa. So these torch songs, I mean, they have been created in Tin Pan Alley, usually written
Right.
by men.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
All of the songs you're
Every
singing are
single
written
song.
Well, women couldn't
lyricists
write
and the
songs
composers.
back then.
Exactly.
That would have been bad.
Exactly.
Unless you were a big star, you know, Eartha Kitt and all of those people. And even Helen Morgan, maybe she could have penned a song and gotten away with it.
Could have, but it wasn't really till Nina Simone.
Right.
I think
Well,
Ella
there were
or
some
Billie.
some women that did write their own songs. They weren't necessarily allowed to put their name on it.
Oh, yes.
So it's a fascinating history of Tin Pan Alley.
Yeah, well, hopefully times have changed. You know, I mean, growing up in the cultural revolution of the '60s and getting a sense that our society was opening up, and even though I feel right now it's not as open as it could be, but I do feel that, you know, more creativity will come out of this.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, it's allowing more people to explore and be able to get their voice heard.
Yeah.
The question is, well, we were talking about this today about in the theater world and TV and literature, the last 15 years really have been about irony, because the only way to explore your anger and to explore, if you come from a marginalized group of some sort, you do it through humor, because that's palatable. But that's allowed people to explore the issues, and now suddenly people are allowing their voices to be heard, and they're starting to get angry about it. And you're starting to hear that, and what's coming out of it is a sincerity in the art, which is really fascinating to discover. And I think honestly a little bit more effective, because when you can be sincere about something, what you're saying starts to matter, not the emotion. And emotion can get in the way of ideas.
It's a fascinating thought that you create these songs and then you string them together with the stories that interpret them.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's a kind of like, I asked you earlier, I said, was this a nightclub act? And you said, no, it's about the transitions. The transitions are storytelling. Oh, okay, that's different. You know, it's not like this next song is about, you know.
Right, and I've done those kinds of shows too, and ultimately that's what led me to this idea, is because that was somehow not quite satisfying enough, and I'm doing all these songs, again, channeling all these other people's words and emotions, and of course they affect me as a singer, as they come through you, and it's an interesting, complicated relationship that I wanted to explore more, and I'm just so grateful Megan's on the ride with me.
Well,
it's been fun.
Good. And so California Stage does, new plays and things like that, but this is kind of like a new venture, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is a new venture, but that's one of the great things about California Stage, is that they like to help develop new pieces and get new voices heard and explore stories from all sorts of different experiences and cultures, and
so this Songs That Ruined Our Lives is going to happen on July 13th and 14th at 8 p.m. At Cal Stage, which is in Midtown at 1725 25th Street at the corner of 25 and R. And you can get more information by getting to their website, calstage.org.
Correct.
All right. Now there's another event that you're doing there as well.
Yes, it's actually a weekend of music.
Really?
So this show is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, but then also there will be a band called Darden Sisters who will be appearing on, and I believe they're from the LA area.
Yes.
And they will be appearing at 2 p.m. on Sunday.
Only?
Sunday only, in the same space.
I see.
In the same theater. So, and I think that we actually even may have brought some music.
We actually have. I think I think so. I should run out and find out, but no, I know they have. And
you
so,
know,
but
they
we're going to go out with that, and so we'll play it.
Yeah,
but they write their own music too.
They write their own music. They consider themselves a form of Americana.
Wow.
So it's sort of a folky sound, and it's, I believe, four sisters.
Four sisters.
All on different instruments. And they are on a tour. It's called For Love and Harmony.
For Love and Harmony, and they are playing in. I saw earlier they're playing in Walnut Grove, I think tonight. So.
Oh, are they? Oh, great. Yeah.
So so these two are kind of interesting about writing. So Darden on tour for Love and Harmony, one performance only. I'm reading this from the script there. It says July 15th at 2 p.m. at Cal Stage. So, and that you can find more information there.
Tickets at calstage.org. And it's a weekend of women having their voices heard through music.
Good. On the stage in Midtown Sacramento. So, but let's go back. I want to go back and talk a little bit about women in the theater and women playwrights. Do you believe that we are expanding in opportunities for women to be playwrights? No?
Absolutely. I'm shaking my head. Yes.
Oh, you're doing a yes. Yes.
I actually know a guy who won an award because it was a blind playwriting contest, and he definitely wrote it through a woman's voice. And so he thinks that the only reason he won was because they thought it was written by
That's hilarious.
just kind of hysterical. But that's because there are more opportunities. People are starting to aggressively go out and find female playwrights. On the other hand, I was looking for a play recently for a woman in her 60s and a woman in her 30s, and literally found 5. A two-hander. And there were tons of two-handers, but there were 5.
5 for 2 women.
5 for 2 women.
Well, we got to get busy.
We got to get busy, absolutely.
Write them plays
Start
and
developing,
write them poems
get
and
these
write them
voices
songs.
heard.
I'm working.
What?
I'm working.
You're working.
Okay, good.
Yeah. We'll have to add another person to it next
That's it.
time.
Well, okay. I have to say this. I want to thank you both for coming to talk to me about this. I think it's kind of a wonderful thing to have you be part of this development, song development, and also kind of dealing with playwriting and music, and seeing how you can come up with a kind of a new form. I don't know what you could call it, but it sounds like a new form, like story music. No, I don't know, whatever.
Concert theater.
Ah, cool.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So we're gonna cut to the Darden folks on tour for their Love and Harmony tour, and we're going to hear them sing a song. We don't know what the title of the song is, but we're going to listen to it.
Great.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes,
Thank you for being you. All right. Here we go. It's called the Darden Sisters Band, and they're going to be at one performance only at Cal Stage on upcoming Sunday. So
2 p.m.
What?
2 p.m.
2 p.m., right. All right, here we go with the Darden Sisters Band.
Thank you.